Hey everyone, this is Max and Max CTCG. Thanks for joining me in another video. So in this video we have a new kind of World Legacy card. It mentions Girsu and Orcus, but it's not really an Orcus card. Kind of an interesting going first, going second tech card that might have some playability. So we have Light Up the Night with Vesper Girsu. This is from Infinite Forbidden. Flash of the Evening Star, quick play spell card. You can only use one card with this card's name per turn. First effect, your opponent controls 2 or more cards than you do. Your opponent can send any number of monsters they control to the grave. Also, you apply this effect based on the number they control. So 0, half your life points. 1, your opponent gains 2,000 life points. 2, banish your opponent's entire hand face up until the end phase. And 3, your opponent cannot activate monster effects for the rest of its turn. So overall, I think this is a pretty interesting card. I think it's solid overall. And I think maybe we could see play with this. One of the benefits this type of card has is that it's a quick play spell. So for cards that could potentially board break, they can be used going first or second. So that's pretty interesting and could be pretty helpful. Now, the big issue with this card though that I'm seeing is that you're gonna run into the problems that your opponent gets to choose. And whenever you give your opponent the option to choose, that can make this card be still really good or pretty lackluster. So that's kind of the issue with it. So if we look at it, there's 2 ways to think about it, going first and going second. One, your opponent has to control 2 more cards than you. So going second, most boards will have at least 2 cards. So at the very least, they'll have 2 monsters on the field, generally speaking. Very few decks only end on 1 monster. So it's going to be playable going second most of the time. And if they have 2 monsters on the field, they either keep their 2 and they banish their entire hand face up till the end phase. So you will get to know what's in their hand and get some hand knowledge. And they'll get their 2 monsters. So, if their hands, if they don't have much of a hand because they committed it to the board and they're not getting rid of a lot of hand trap disruption, they might just choose, hey, I'm going to keep all my monsters. They're both negates, they're both interruptions. I have graveyard interruptions. I'm going to keep my board and I'll banish my hand. You didn't really achieve that much outside of some hand knowledge and maybe you got rid of 1 hand trap. If your opponent has a lot of hand traps in hand, they might not want to get rid of their hand and they might choose to only go down to 1 monster, allowing them to gain 2,000 life points. That could be, the choice they go with. So generally speaking, when it comes to using this card, your opponent's only going to want to either go down to 2 or 1. If they keep 3, all the monsters on their field are negated, so they're not going to do that. They're going to definitely go to at least 2 to 1. And, that could be the problem, is that you don't know your opponent's hand when doing this. Like I said, if they have a lot of hand traps and you're forcing them to choose, that's good. They're going to probably want to get rid of a monster. But if they don't have a lot of hand traps, they might just like, no, it's fine. Just keep my 2 and you're like, great. So I think that's the concern. Now when going first, which this card is interesting, is if you set this card as a going second card, you drew going first, let's say you only end on like 1 monster or 2 monsters. If your opponent's playing a very heavy combo deck and they're extending a lot like Snake Eyes, you can activate this and they'd have to go down to 1 body really, because going first, you set this card up, if they only go to 2 bodies, they banish their entire hand face up. That gives you hand knowledge and their turn's pretty much over. If they only keep 2 bodies and they probably can't do very much with 2 against you trying to break the board going second, you'll probably just kill them. So most likely they have to go down to 1 body going first. So in decks that have to extend a lot, that could be really good, a really good option. So as a going first card, I think this card's actually pretty good when it comes to that play. So I think we could definitely see this seeing some play. And being an interesting staple. If it's a very cheap card in Infinite Forbidden and not like a secret or an expensive secret, I would consider picking this up because I could see this being playable. Let me know what you guys think of this card. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's playable? Is there anything I pointed out you weren't thinking about that you think's interesting, like the going first versus going second usage? I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.